Okay, so this is just a video showing you how you can improvise over the solo of Cocaine by Eric Clapton or J.J. Cale. The one thing we're going to be doing in this is we're going to be using your minor pentatonic scale, and we're going to be playing a major third note in the scale. Now that is a good way to make your minor pentatonic fit with a major chord or a song that's in a major key. If you play your E minor pentatonic scale at your 12th fret, and then compare it against an E major chord, you can see that there's one note that's different, that's the 13th fret on the G. Okay, if you add that note into a minor pentatonic scale, it's a really easy way to make your pentatonic fit with a major chord. So here's just a quick improvisation over the solo from Cocaine, just showing you some of the ideas that you can use. And then the last thing to mention about these licks is when you're bending up to this major third, the major third should be the note that keeps sounding. It should stay in your mind. The way to do that is don't then go back to the minor third. So for that first bend you did, when you're improvising, don't release it back down to 12. It won't sound good. It's like going from a major chord to a minor chord. The major should be the sound which keeps going. So you've got to stop the bend or follow it with another note. Same on your top string. Don't let it come back down. Stop it. Play a different note. It's the same with the slide at the end. Don't then play your little finger note on your bottom string, because that's the same effect as going like that. So be really careful with how you use these major third notes. Okay, so for lick 1, the main challenge is to bend the minor third, which is the 12th fret on the G string, to bend the string up 1 semitone, which is 1 fret. So it should sound like the 13th fret. This becomes this. Now, when you're talking about string bending, you say bend up quite a lot, but that doesn't always mean that you push the string upwards towards the roof. Generally, if you're playing a string bend with your index finger, you're going to pull the string downwards. Now, that's because your first finger should be anchored underneath the neck. In fact, your entire first finger, almost onto your palm in your hand, should be joined up around the back of the neck, like that. And that's so that your first finger acts like a little hinge underneath the neck. Keep your thumb on the top of the neck, just to give your hand some stability. Play the 12th fret. Twist your wrist. Don't straighten or bend your finger. And keep checking what the 13th fret sounds like. That's the note you need to hit. Now when you bend up to that note, get your third finger, lean it across the strings so that you stop the G string from ringing. Once you can do that, you can actually let go of your first finger. Now to get the lick sounding good, you've got to put that third finger on just as your first finger hits that target note. Do it too early and it won't get the same sort of effect. Do it too late and your bend will be too sharp and it'll sound out of tune. So once your third finger drops onto that string, stops it, pick the 14th fret D. It's all about timing. Once you get the timing right, it'll have that characteristic bluesy sound. You're performing the same type of string bend, but this time it's with your third finger. So you need to have at least your third and second finger on the E string. Hook your thumb around the neck. Have your hand and your index finger anchored underneath the neck, just like you would do for a normal string bend and like you did with your index finger. So you're playing your 15th fret, you're bending that up one fret again so that it sounds like 16. If you can get your little finger, you can play 16 pretty easily and check how it should sound. There we go. This time you don't need to use another finger because you're going to play the same string again. So get your pick, drop it onto the E string when you hit the target note, which is 16. Okay, from then, let your string down and play your next note, which is 12. That final note, 15 on D, fits with the D chord. But you don't have to try and make that lick fit with the song. You can actually change the timing a little bit. Repeat bits. Combine the two different licks. Try and get creative with it. Okay, so for lick number 3, we're using the same bend note that we used in lick number 1, but this time we're going to hammer onto it. Get your first finger and bar it across the D and G string, on the 12th fret of course. Then hammer on with your second finger onto the 13th fret, which is the major third note. Okay, both notes should carry on ringing. Then get your third finger, play your E string, your E note, which is your root. Descend down the scale. When you get to your 12th fret A, slide your first finger back a fret to the 11th fret. That is another major third. It's down an octave from the 13th fret. And then just to finish it off, finish on your E root note. Okay, so it goes without saying, whenever you're learning some licks or part of a solo, obviously learn the licks, spend most of the time on the ones that you enjoy the most, but you should experiment with those licks. So if you really like that first bend, for example, use it as much as possible. Use what you like and forget about the rest. If you like that last little slide, think about some ways that you could end some of the stuff that you'd normally play. If you normally play a lick like this, for example, if that sounds like something you'd play, see if you can put that major third into it somehow, like this. There you go.